Hey folks, welcome to the last lecture for assignment 2. I know that these lectures are a little heavy, but aside from watching the lectures, you won't have to do anything because this is essentially the homework. Uh, Week to week, it shouldn't be this intense, but hopefully you're enjoying it because this is some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so in this lecture, we're going to go over some animation. Oh, that would be cool. We're going to go over some annotation, and we're also going to go over some printing. Okay, checking my baby paranormal cams, making sure everybody is sleeping, and they are. We're in good shape. It's a miracle. All right, so first thing we want to do is just add some text to our floor plan. So right now, this floor plan actually looks pretty well composed. We've got some basic dimensions, some basic grid lines, a section, at least one section in here. We can also add another, but everything looks like I can read everything at least that's on there right now. There isn't anything covering up anything. I don't have to adjust anything. My grid lines are separated from my architecture, so I have a sense of what's the architecture, what's the grid lines, and so on. So first thing I want to do is just put some text on here. So I'm going to go up to Annotate tab and just go to the text panel and click the text button. Okay. So there's a bunch of tools that are up there with text. Specifically, these ones have a text with an arrow. We just want normal, no leader text, just text. Okay. Now, if you look in the type selector, it says text 1/4 inch. That means the height of this text will be 1/4 inch. So if I click right down here, it's going to click in space. And it's wanting me to type. So I'm going to type office building option A. So we might have other schemes that we want to show, but this looks good. And I'm just going to click in space. Okay, so, and I'll hit escape a couple times. Now I can select that text box. I can move it around. I can also go up to the type selector and change to a different size font. Now there's only 2 in here, and it's really easy to make more sizes, but let's just stick with 1/4 inch for now. So the great thing about that 1/4 inch text box, that text, no matter what scale I set this drawing to, will always be 1/4 inch. So if you remember in our section, we changed the scale down here. Now, right in the view display down here, it says it's an 1/8 inch equals a foot. Another place you can see that is right here in the properties. When I have nothing selected and I click in space, you can see it's an 1/8 inch equals a foot. So if I change the scale of this drawing, O to 1/4 inch equals a foot, and hit apply, you'll notice this is how 1/4 inch equals a foot would look. This is still 1/4 inch text, but the drawing has changed. Okay, the drawing got bigger. So just to let you know, when you set this to be 1/4 inch equals a foot, or I'm sorry, the text to be 1/4 inch, it stays 1/4 inch. Just because I changed the scale on the drawing didn't mean that this changed. Okay, so when you lay this out on a sheet, this will become more clear. Okay, but I just wanted to point that out to you. So I'm just going to change the scale back to an 1/8 inch equals a foot. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now let's get some room names and square footages in here. Okay, so I'm going to go to Architecture, Room and Area panel. Now I'm going to go to Room right here. I'm going to click that. Now, before I place this into a room, you can kind of see when I just hover over my mouse here, I'm going to go to my type selector and select Room Tag with Area. Okay, so if I put that right here, say just like right here in this office, I'm going to click. Look at that. Room 1, 350 square feet. I'm going to move it to the right, put 1 in here. Room 2, 346 square feet, 346. I'm just going to get one in every room. Let's get that in there. And I'm going to put one down here. Okay, got all my rooms in now. Square footage each, which is really nice. And a number for each and a room and a name, in this case, just room. So I'm going to double click on room and I'm going to call this office, office, office. Okay, 1 second. I got to pause real quick. Okay, I put office, office, office. I'm going to do office here. Oops. Okay, this might happen to you. I didn't quite click on the name room and it opened up this tag. And it opened up this tag and it's like, hey, do you want to edit this tag or what do you want to do to it? I don't want to do anything to this. I'm just going to hit the X up here and close this. I did not mean to open that up. Okay, I'll tell you what that means later. Do you want to save changes? No. So essentially, I could edit how this reads by adjusting that file that just opened, but I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to just get a little closer, click on room, type in office. And then these last two ones, I'm just going to call this one, let's just do this. Restroom 1 and restroom 2. There we go. Let's call this one lobby. Okay. So we have all of our office names. We have the square footage for each. This is looking like a really nice floor plan. And we did this relatively quick in Revit. So let me consult my list. Okay, so something that you'll come across in construction documents are what's called schedules. Schedules are a fancy word for just saying spreadsheets. Okay, so from time to time, as you look through a project, you'll notice that there's, oh yeah, the floor plans, the elevations, the sections, and then we get to schedules. Schedules tell us a little more about each room. So it's a spreadsheet just saying, hey, Office 1 has blah, 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 blah information associated with it. That is typically put into a schedule, into a spreadsheet, instead of in a floor plan drawing, and then that schedule spreadsheet is put onto a sheet later on in the document. It's called for example, like a room finish schedule. It will tell you the finishes of all four sides of the rooms. Hey, all four walls of the room get PT 36, which is City Loft by Sherwin-Williams, one of my favorites. So that's kind of what it's for. So let's make a quick schedule. It's important to do this step, although it sounds boring, because I want to show you how Revit sort of works. So if I go to schedules and quantities down here in the project browser, I'm going to right click and do new schedule quantity. So I'm going to click that. Now it's asking me, hey, what kind of spreadsheet do you want to make? I can make all of these. Aren't I amazing? I'm Revit. Okay, but what I want to do is rooms and hit, and hit OK. Okay, so now in our schedule, it's asking us, hey, in the room finish schedule, what sort of information do you want to know? Okay, so area would be good to know. So I'm going to put that over there. Base finish, that would be good to know. Not base offset. Ceiling finish, that might be good to know. Name, definitely. That would be good to know. Number, so like office number. And wall finish. Let's just put those in for now. Now, in here, we can sort of reorganize this by this list. So maybe I want area to be first. Then I'll do base finish. Then I'll do wall finish. Then I'll do ceiling finish. I'm going to bring name up first. And I'm going to bring number under name. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and now we made this simple little room schedule. And we have, look at this, office, 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 office. They're all numbered. Restroom, restroom, then lobby. And here's all of our square footages. And then I can add different information into here later. But let's say the first room got changed from an office to a break room. So I'm going to type break room in here instead and hit enter. Now, I changed it on the spreadsheet, but if I go back to level 1 floor plan, look at now it's called break room. So schedules are connected to the model information, just like the model information is connected to the schedules. It's the only reason why I wanted to show you that, but that is how schedules are essentially made. And then I can take that schedule and just like a floor plan, I can pop this on a sheet, just like I'm going to do the floor plan here. So that brings us to our last little topic here, which is printing. So I just want to print our cool little floor plan. I don't want to do anything more complicated than that. I want to print this on let's say 11 by 17 landscape print. And I want to print it to an Adobe PDF so that I can put my name on it and call it Kevin Kinney Office Building Option A. Okay, version 1. Okay, so I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go to Print. This does sound easy, but it can get a little complicated. So in the name of the printer, I'm going to change that to Adobe PDF. Okay, and then we don't have to do anything in this middle zone here under File. For print range, I want to do visible portion of current window. Okay, so I'm going to close this for a second and I'm going to come back and do it. So what I want to do is make sure that everything is in this window. I'm talking from this edge to this edge on what I want to print. Now, I might not want to print these elevation markers, so I'm just going to make a selection box over one of them, go up to move right here, and I'm just going to move this over, select, I'm going to move that over, select, and I'm going to move this up, select, I'm going to move this down. Okay, now when I zoom in, I can just focus on our cool little office building right there. So that looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to go File, Print, Adobe PDF, Visible Portion of Current Window, and now I'm going to go into Setup right here. Okay, here's where I want to choose 11 by 17. Center is fine. Fit to page is fine. We're not going to do any sort of zoom here. I just want it to fit to the 11 by 17. I'm not worried about printing anything to scale at this point. Just going to do it like this. Fit to page. Landscape, we already did that. Everything else looked good. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to wait for Adobe to sort of do its thing. It's asking me, where do you want to save this? So I'm going to say, okay, Kevin Kinney, Office Building Option A Floor Plan VO1. And I'm going to go ahead and save that to our class under week 2, so I just know where things are, and hit save. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay, so some of you may have been getting this, where sort of the progress bar sort of stalls like this. That should not be the case. Now, here's what might be happening. Since I restarted my computer, I might need to log into the Adobe products. So if any of you are having issues printing to PDF, first thing I would do is open Adobe, say Acrobat. Okay, so I'm just going to close this and cancel that, and I'm going to open Acrobat right now, and I'll show you But first things first is I got to get my barking dog out of here. 1 second. And we're back. All right, so I'm going to go down to my computer here, and I'm just going to type in Acrobat. Now let's see. I'm going to log in here. I'm going to at least open it. So I just opened it. It looks like I'm already logged in right there. So in some cases, you may need to just open Adobe Acrobat. In some cases, you might need to log in. I'm just going to leave it open and minimize it. Just going to try this again and hope for the best. So I'm going to go File, Print. That's all set. That's all set. I'll check my setup. Everything's the same here. I'll hit OK. I'll hit OK. Fingers crossed. Okay. Option A, floor plan. VO1. It almost is worse right now. I'm not getting any progress bars. Okay. Don't sweat it. Okay. So here's what I would do. If that happens to you, you can just send me a snapshot of your floor plan. For most of you, I hope it just works. So for those of you that it doesn't work, mark my words, I'm going to get to the bottom of it and get it to work right. But let me just show you how to do a quick snapshot. So in Windows, I like to use the snipping tool. So I'm going to go to the little magnifying glass here and type in snipping, hit enter. And here's my snipping tool, like toolbar. And I'm just going to click new. And my screen kind of goes gray, but I'm just going to make a nice little selection, holding down the left mouse button from up here to there. That looks pretty good. It's got everything in there. I'm not too tight to the edges. Maybe something like that. Okay, there it is. That looks real nice. And I'll go File, Save As. I wonder if you can save it as a PDF. You can't. So a JPEG would be fine. And I'll go to my Arc Software 2 folder, week 2, and I'll call that Kevin Kinney Office Building. Option A, Floor Plan VO1. Okay, so we've saved that as a JPEG. I can close this, and I can then submit that JPEG for my Assignment 2 homework. So you will get an Assignment 2 write-up from me, but that's essentially what I want you to do. And the whole point of these lectures in this series was really just to show you, give you just a taste of Revit and all the cool things we can do really quick. And in this case, we really just modeled a very simple building. And for your projects, they're going to be much more complex because we're going to add a lot of complexity to them. And so the SketchUp model that you did is sort of the bones of where we're headed. So we have to take these little detours every now and then and step away from your design to sort of learn some skills and then off to the races. All right, guys. Thanks so much.